They don't hate you because you're wicked. They hate you because you remind them of everything they are not. Sit with that. You walk among smiling faces, but every grin hides a grudge. Every handshake carries a tremor of envy. This world does not move by love. It moves by competition disguised as friendship. Men don't truly wish you well. They wish you less. The applause you hear? It's the noise people make to hide the sound of their jealousy breaking inside them. Every time you win, someone dies a little in silence. And the tragedy? You keep thinking their silence means peace. So silence is just hatred learning patience. Before we go deeper, I want you to pause. Type one word in the comments. A word that defines your power. Something like resilient, unbreakable, aware. Comment that word. Because every time you speak it, you strip another mask from the world. And while you're at it, subscribe, because what we discuss here, they'll never teach you in school or whisper to you in comfort. This is the doctrine of reality. Niccolo Machiavelli once warned, "Men love at their convenience, but they hate with consistency." If you have risen above average, if your name carries weight, if your presence commands attention, you have already provoked hatred. Not because you harmed anyone, but because you exist as proof that it can be done. Mediocrity hates evidence of greatness. It exposes the lie they tell themselves that comfort is enough. You, just by standing taller, disturb their peace. Understand this, the hatred isn't always loud. It's polite, it's subtle. It's the friend who cheers too loudly, the coworker who compliments with trembling lips, the relative who smiles at your success while praying for your stumble. Love is what they perform. Hatred is what they hide. And if you're wise, you'll stop trying to be loved by those who secretly crave your fall. The path of power begins where the desire to please ends. You see, when you begin to rise, they do not see your effort. They see their own reflection dimming. Your growth becomes their reminder that time is passing and they've wasted theirs. Every move you make towards greatness is a mirror shoved in their face, showing them the parts of themselves they abandoned. So they call you arrogant. They say you've changed. Of course you've changed. That's what evolution looks like to those who stayed the same. They call it pride because they cannot stand to call it progress. The truth is, you didn't outgrow them. They refused to grow with you. Machiavelli understood this disease of the human heart. He wrote that men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, and covetous. He wasn't bitter, he was observant. He knew that once you are no longer beneath them, people's love curdles into contempt. That's why kings are feared and prophets are crucified. The higher you rise, the smaller their hearts feel beside you. You start to notice it in the tone of their questions. You think you're better than us? No, but I think better than you. And that's what hurts them most. Because thought is rebellion. Independence is treason. You were supposed to remain manageable, predictable, dependent on their validation. But the moment you stopped seeking applause, you became dangerous. The room shifts when you walk in, not because of arrogance, but because of energy. The energy of someone who no longer needs permission to exist. And that unsettles people who built their identity on being needed. They can't control a person who has mastered detachment, so they disguise hostility as humor, sabotage as advice, and jealousy as concern. But don't be deceived. These are tactics of the powerless, the desperate attempts of those who cannot match your strength, trying instead to poison it. This is not your cue to become cruel, but to become aware, because awareness itself is power. Look around you. The moment you start walking in confidence, watch how the air changes. The same people who once called you humble will now whisper that you've become proud. But humility to them meant obedience. It meant staying in your place. It meant shrinking so they could feel tall. You broke that spell the day you realized your worth was never up for negotiation. You see, the crowd doesn't hate the sinner who repents. They hate the one who refuses to bow. And that's you now. You've stopped apologizing for being more. They wanted a version of you they could manage, small enough to pity, quiet enough to ignore. But power changes the temperature of a room. The moment you speak with clarity, you disturb the fog others hide in. They'll say you've become cold, but you're not cold, no, you're clear. And clarity terrifies people who live on confusion. I want you to pause right now. Drop a word in the comments that defines your awakening. Something that tells the world you see the game for what it is. Aware, reborn, unshaken. Speak it. Because words carry energy, and this channel isn't entertainment, it's a battlefield for your mind. If you're still here, you're not watching a video, you're training for the world. And I need you to subscribe right now, not for me, but for your growth. Because what I give here in the world hides from you on purpose. Machiavelli said it best. A wise man should never complain about the ungratefulness of men, for that is the nature of the world. Remember that. You're not hated because you're wrong. You're hated because you remind people that they settled. You show them what courage looks like in human form, and that unsettles the lazy spirit inside them. They wish you'd go back to doubt, to silence, to your old insecurities. But that version of you is gone, buried, and never returning. So when their faces twist at your confidence, when their words sharpen at your success, smile. Because that hatred? It's proof that you've become significant. The invisible do not attract envy. Only those with light draw shadows. Listen closely, because this is where many falter. You think betrayal is rare? You think hatred only shows its teeth in grand gestures? No, the dagger is often hidden behind a smile, the poison whispered between friendly words. The neighbor who laughs at your joke may also calculate the moment to surpass you. The colleague who congratulates your promotion is already planning how to make your success their failure. Men and women are not malicious because they are evil. They are strategic because they are human. Niccolo Machiavelli wrote that to expect gratitude from mankind is to expect a wolf to eat grass. You will find no exceptions. Understand this: when you rise, your enemies are inevitable. Not always the open ones, the loud, the obvious, but the silent observers, the watchers of your every step. They see your victory and feel it as their loss, and they will wait. They will wait for the smallest slip, the tiniest weakness, the moment you believe in their loyalty. Because opportunity fuels hatred, and men do not hesitate when the chance to balance the scales presents itself. Do not waste your energy chasing love where it does not exist. Love is fickle, love is conditional. The hand that praises today will pull the knife tomorrow if your usefulness wanes. But awareness is power. Knowledge of who hides envy in their heart arms you before the battle even begins. You are already equipped. Every secret grudge, every whisper of resentment, every silent comparison, it's information. And in the hands of the prepared, information is armor. Look at your life. Those you thought were allies, and are they truly standing with you, or are they standing in the shadow of what they hope to take? The question is not paranoia, it is clarity. It is survival. And the stronger you become, the clearer the answer becomes. The weak resent because they are helpless. The strong resent because they see a mirror of ambition they lack. The higher you ascend, the more mirrors they will hold to your face, and the more hatred will crystallize. Power is not a gift. It is a burden of visibility. Every triumph is observed, every mistake magnified, every strength envied. And yet within that fire, within that storm of silent hatred, there is an opportunity. You can wield their envy like a blade. You can learn from it. You can let it sharpen your mind instead of dulling your spirit. That is the sermon you need to hear. Hatred is inevitable, but destruction is optional. Now understand this: hatred is not a curse, it is a signal. Every whispered resentment, every clenched jaw, every envy-laden glance is proof that you have stirred the stagnant waters of mediocrity. Those who despise you do not hold power over you unless you allow it. But when you see their contempt for what it truly is, fuel, you become untouchable. Their hatred is a mirror, reflecting the magnitude of your existence. And mirrors, my friend, are tools if you know how to use them. The question is no longer how to avoid being hated. The question is how to use their hatred to carve your empire. Machiavelli taught that the wise leader turns even the hostility of others into advantage. Every competitor who resents your ascent can be studied, predicted, and anticipated. Every envious glance is a warning. Every silent calculation is a lesson. You take their negative energy, analyze it, understand it, and let it hone your strategy. Do not waste time pleading for approval. Use the observation of opposition to tighten your armor. And hear this clearly: those who appear loyal are often your greatest teachers. Watch them, test them, and learn. Their reactions, their words, their subtle manipulations all reveal weaknesses you can exploit not with malice but with mastery. To act without awareness is to be a pawn. To act with awareness is to become the player. Your enemies are the teachers you didn't ask for. The mirror of ambition you refused to see in yourself until they forced the revelation. It is in this crucible of silent hatred that true power is forged. You will realize that men fear what they cannot control, and they envy what they cannot attain. Their judgment will attempt to weigh you down. But if you remain unshaken, if you continue to rise, their resistance becomes a roadmap of influence. Every attempt to undermine you is information about human nature, about strategy, desire, and weakness. The wise embrace the reality. You cannot stop being hated. You cannot erase envy. You cannot survive the ascent without stirring resentment. But you can direct it, you can predict it, and you can let it make you stronger. This is the law of power, eternal, unyielding, merciless. When you recognize it, you stop fearing the shadows behind smiles and you begin commanding the room even before you speak. Hatred then is no longer a threat. It becomes your tool, your compass, your proof that you are alive, that you matter, that your influence shakes the foundations others dared to call stable. Now listen, because this is the truth most fear to face. The world does not owe you admiration, nor does it care for your intentions. It does not celebrate virtue or kindness, indeed, it respects strength. Every step you take, every success you claim, every vision you manifest draws the ire of those who are unwilling to see themselves surpassed. Hatred is not a sign that you are wrong. It is proof that you matter. It is proof that your presence disrupts the mediocrity around you. And here is the paradox. The same hatred that seeks to diminish you can be used to measure your power, sharpen your mind, and forge your destiny. Do not shy away from it. Do not plead for approval where it will never be given. The man who fears being hated is already enslaved. The one who understands the inevitability of resentment walks free. Machiavelli knew this. He observed kings betrayed not by armies but by those closest to them. Friends, allies, companions. Those we trust most are often the architects of our trials. And yet the one who rises above this knowledge turns betrayal into clarity, hatred into motivation, and envy into strategy. Consider the life you are building. Every glance of envy, every whispered complaint, every concealed disdain. It is data, it is insight. It is a map of human weakness, and you are the explorer who reads it to navigate your empire. You no longer need universal love, for that is an illusion. You need awareness, resolve, and courage. You need the willingness to stand alone, to walk through fire, to embrace the shadows of envy as part of your path. Because in that acceptance, in that clarity, lies true freedom. And now I ask you again, subscribe and sharpen your mind as this channel grows. This marks commitment to yourself and personal growth. Comment a word below that declares your power, your resolve, your awakening. Let this channel be the forge where your mind sharpens. The hatred you face, the envy that surrounds you, the opposition that stalks your every step. Let it fuel you rather than destroy you. Let it teach you, guide you, and harden you into a force the world cannot ignore. Remember, to exist with strength is to summon enemies. To rise is to invite envy. To shine is to awaken resentment, but mastery comes when you no longer fear it. When you see hatred, not as a threat but as a signal of your significance, you become untouchable. You stand as a testament to human nature, to ambition, to clarity. And that, my friend, is the sermon you will carry with you. Because power is not granted. It is recognized, earned, and defended in the face of every hidden contempt. Hatred is eternal, but so is the strength of the man who commands it.